Your cat is sitting on top of the refrigerator, staring down at you. We've all been there, right? This unflappable king of the castle, this tiny, furry overlord who seems to be silently judging your entire life. We often joke that they're dominating us, that they rule the world, and we're just the staff. This idea, the cat is up high because it's the boss, feels so logical. But what if this love for all things vertical isn't about being a boss at all? What if it's something way older and more fundamental? Let's pour a cup of tea and break down the real psychology of King Floof on his throne. It's such a classic cat move. 1 second, they're on the floor, and the next, thwip, they're on the bookshelf, the kitchen cabinets, or the very top of the cat tree. They do it so effortlessly, as if that spot just inches from the ceiling is their true home. To us, it's just furniture. To them, it's a strategic perch. They're not just sitting up there, they're on patrol. At the heart of this behavior is an ancient survival instinct. The wild ancestors of our house cats, like the African wildcat, lived in a world full of danger. They had 2 main rules for survival: see everything and be seen by nothing. A high perch gave them both. From up high, they had a perfect 360-degree view to spot both prey, a tiny mouse in the grass, and predators, like a jackal. It was a life-or-death advantage. Down on the ground, a cat was vulnerable. Up high, a cat was safe. It was the spot where they could safely take a nap without worrying about being snuck up on. This instinct is so powerful that it's still hardwired into our pampered house cats who have never seen a jackal in their lives. Their prey is just us, walking to the kitchen, and their predator is, well, maybe the vacuum cleaner. But the instinct screams, "Get high!" You know, it's a lot like how we love to get a window seat at a cafe. We like to watch the world go by while feeling safe and warm. So what should we understand from this? When your cat climbs the bookshelf, it's not trying to flex on you or show its superiority. It's just looking for its safe space, its own personal watchtower. It's just a cat, being a cat. But to love heights, you have to be able to get to them. And this is where nature gave cats some serious superpowers. Let's start with their inner ear. Just like us, they have a vestibular system that controls balance. But a cat's is fine-tuned to absolute perfection. It works like a high-tech gyroscope, letting them instantly process their body's position in space. That's why a cat can just flow across the back of a chair or a narrow fence without a single wobble. Their body is in a constant state of perfect balance. Add to that their insane flexibility, a spine that can rotate like crazy and powerful back legs that work like coiled springs. This lets them not just climb, but launch themselves to heights 3 or 4 times their own body. We humans are just clumsy giants by comparison. This ability evolved for hunting and survival, but there's a second piece: their vision. We think they're just looking from up high. No, they're scanning. A cat's eyes are built to detect the slightest flicker of movement. Sitting on top of the fridge, your cat sees the entire room. They are in total control. The crinkly wrapper in the corner, your slippers, that one fly, it's their command center. Remember when your kitten first discovered the vertical world? Now look at them, soaring onto the counter. That's a demonstration of their biological perfection. They are using their body exactly as nature intended. Let's hop in our time machine and go to ancient Egypt, about 4,000 years ago. The Egyptians weren't just the first to truly domesticate the cat, they worshipped them. The cat was the living embodiment of the goddess Bastet, the goddess of joy, fertility, and protection, and they were treated accordingly. They lived in temples, and killing a cat was a capital crime. And you know where cats were most often depicted in art? not on the floor at their owner's feet. They were shown sitting on high pedestals, on thrones, right next to the pharaohs, as equals. The Egyptians intuitively understood the cat is, by its very nature, an elevated creature. They saw its love of heights not just as an instinct, but as a sign of divine status, a connection to the gods. There was even a belief that cats were the guardians of the underworld. Their eyes, glowing in the dark, were thought to be windows into another dimension. By sitting up high, Egyptians believed the cat wasn't just watching the home, it was guarding it from evil spirits. It was a living, breathing good luck charm, standing watch. And even though we haven't worshipped Bastet for thousands of years, that ancient reverence is still baked into our culture. When we look at a cat perched gracefully on a mantelpiece, we might not be thinking of pharaohs, but something deep inside us still admires that poise. So when your cat stares down at you from a shelf, it might just be channeling its inner God complex. Okay, so let's get back to our main question, the psychology of dominance. We humans love to project our social structures onto animals. We have bosses, pecking orders, hierarchies, and when we see a cat sitting above everyone else, our brain helpfully suggests it's dominating. It's showing who's boss. But here's the truth. Straight from animal behaviorists, cat society is way more complicated. Cats are not pack animals like dogs. They don't have an innate need for a leader or a rigid hierarchy. They are solitary hunters. Their relationships aren't built on dominance and submission. They're built on resource sharing. They're not trying to be the boss. They're trying to organize their life to be as safe and conflict-free as possible. So, for a cat, height isn't about dominance. It's about security and control. It's not, I'm higher, so I'm in charge. It's, I'm higher, so I can see everything and no one can mess with me. It's the position of a watchman, not an aggressor. In the wild, a weaker or more insecure cat would be more likely to seek a high spot. It's a strategy to avoid conflict, not start it. Watch two cats. The more confident one might just plop down on the floor. The more timid one will often be found hiding on a bookshelf. They're not dominating. They're just leaving the conflict zone. They're creating vertical territory. So when your cat hits the top of the fridge, it's not saying, I am your king. It's saying, phew, I'm safe up here. And man, the view is great. Cats don't just meow. They communicate with their entire bodies, and just as importantly, with their position in space. In cat language, vertical space is a whole separate vocabulary. A cat's elevation tells you more about its mood and intentions than we think. It's a non-verbal signal to everyone in the room. What phrases are they saying? If a cat deliberately climbs to the highest possible shelf, especially when you have guests, that's a phrase meaning, I'm opting out. I am now in observation mode. If a cat is rubbing on your legs, it's at a low level, a sign of trust. And if it chooses a height that's at your eye level like the back of the sofa, that's often an invitation to interact as an equal. The mistake we make? We ignore these signals. We think if the cat is hiding on a shelf, we should immediately go get it and cuddle it. We're violating its personal space. It clearly said, I need a minute, and we're climbing in its face, causing stress. Or we try to shoo it off its dominant perch on the fridge, starting a pointless power struggle. How do you understand your pet? Respect its choice. If the cat is high, leave it be unless it asks for attention. Want to interact? Sit down so your eyes are on its level. Don't loom. In the cat world, looming is a threat. By getting down to their level, you're speaking their language. I'm a friend, not a danger. This feline passion for heights directly impacts our lives. As loving owners, we start to change our homes for them. We buy multi-level cat trees that look like furry palaces. Some of us go further, building cat superhighway shelves and bridges near the ceiling, turning a 2D apartment into a 3D cat paradise. Our love for them makes us think vertically. This trait has even created a special social role for cats. Think of all those famous bodega cats or library cats. Where are they usually? That's right, on the highest stack of books or on the counter where they can see the whole room. They become more than mascots. They're the unofficial supervisors. Their calm presence from on high makes the whole place feel cozier. There are so many touching stories like that of Dewey, the cat who became the symbol of a library in Iowa. He loved sitting on the shelves, and people would come specifically to read under his watch. These cats weren't dominating. They were uniting the community. What does this bond say about us? It says, we're willing to completely redesign our flat human world just to make another creature happy. We're willing to admit that they have their own non-human needs. And by building them those pathways near the ceiling, we're basically saying, I love you. I respect your catness. That is the ultimate act of empathy. So, is it dominance? No. When your cat sits on top of the bookshelf, it's not trying to prove it's the boss. It's speaking the language of its wild ancestors. It's seeking safety, it's controlling its territory, and it's resting where no one can bother it. This isn't the psychology of dominance, it's the psychology of security and comfort. So, does your little Rey de la Casa love heights? What's the highest, most unexpected place in your home they've claimed as their own? Tell us in the comments where your personal king of the mountain loves to hang out. We'd love to read about it. And of course, if you enjoyed our chat today, please hit that like button and subscribe. We value your support. Today we looked up, but next time, we're going to look right into their eyes. We'll talk about their most hypnotic and mysterious ability, one that still baffles scientists. What do they really see in the dark? Trust me, their nighttime world is not what you think. Don't miss it.